Hello, everyone, and welcome to PR Connections at prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. My name is Guy Dawson, and I am your host. And today I am with members of TMI and Partners. I am here with Alvin Hartley, Dr. Perry L. Austin, and Lacey McCollum Jr. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. How they say on television, thank you for having me. I like that part. I always want to say that,
And now you've done that, haven't you, Alvin?
Okay, we finished.
Well, I have been affiliated with TMI and Partners for about 6 months now.
Yeah.
I was introduced by a good friend of mine to the business solutions that they were offering, and it just is such an attractive group that has a message and a mission that I think is so important for the empowerment of people economically in terms of business development, in particular, minority business owners. And so we're going to be spending the next hour talking about different aspects of the ways that TMI and Partners, as well as these gentlemen's individual businesses, can help you to be more successful. So again, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
So Alvin, tell us the story. Where did the vision of TMI and Partners come from?
Well, first of all, I have so much fun. Dr. Lacey, did you adjust the camera right for the logo? I have so much fun. The reason why I laugh is because a lot of us, we work together. Guy, you work with us. And you never felt so many executives, we laugh, but we're so serious, but we keep each other's spirit up all day long, because in the world of business, it's war. So if you don't keep each other laughing and really blessing each other, it just doesn't work. So let me just give you a little bit of background on TMI. My gray hairs will probably give it away, but I've been in advertising and marketing for close to 35 years. As a marketer, especially dealing in the African-American community, it seems like they didn't understand the value of public relations and marketing, or they couldn't afford the service of public relations and marketing. So then we decided to, my wife, myself, and 3 other gentlemen, we decided to start our own business consulting firm. And I built the company along with the team based on my marketing experience, my multi-level marketing experience, and also my branding and all the relationship I have in the industry. The reason why I say multi-level, because multi-level shows you how to actually bring people on, how to train people. It's the same like any other business, but I learned how to pay people through those services that they're offering to clients. So with that, it's going on 10 years. Our anniversary was just January. So now we're going into our 10th year. And we realized how important minorities not only need branding, but they need money. They need money. And what we realized, they didn't know how to get the money. They didn't know how to qualify for the money. Here's the key thing. They didn't understand, a lot of them, how to fill out their paperwork. I don't care how great you are. I don't care if you're doing $500,000, $1 million, $2 million worth of sales. A lot of folks didn't understand basically how to fill out their paperwork. And then there's a lot more to the company, but that's our space.
And so you had mentioned that you had this background in PR and marketing, and then you decided that you'd make a transition into the financial services arena. Was that a tough transition? Because being in PR and marketing, it is quite a bit different than finance. But how was that for you, making this transition from promoting people's businesses to helping them get funding for projects and helping them with other business solutions?
It took us years, brother. Oh my God, it took us years to understand the characteristics of funding. And I hope your listeners really understand funding has different characteristics. meaning different types of ways how to get funding. So we learned a lot about that, and we developed great relationships and contract with private investors, banking, all types of institutions that offer different types of funding services. Once we started getting that together, then we looked at the operation of a company. And once you understand the company and how they're operating, you're able to pair them up with the right funding solution. You see where I'm coming from? So it's first learning the world of funding and how to qualify, how to make sure all the paperwork is right. Then run across the street and then take that language that we learned and put it into the language your your average business person can say, oh, is that what that is? Now I understand. Because funding isn't easy if you don't know how to do it.
Well, you had touched on it earlier, Alvin, about representing Black-owned businesses and there being challenges with them being able to afford the services of a PR and marketing company. And then you talked about this transition into the world of actually funding businesses. How do you help businesses to get beyond a lot of the perception out there is that through traditional lenders, they're not very open to loaning money to businesses. And I think a lot of times we're trained to be in that frame of mind, not to think about that there are other creative ways that a business can get money. We have a bank, traditional lender oriented focus, a lot of us. How do you get people to see beyond that, these business owners that you're working with, and trying to show them how they can get the money?
First of all, they have to listen. Now, I spoke to you earlier, so we're going to go raw on this. You know that. They have to learn to listen. You have too many companies that are in business that think because they've been in business for 6 months or a year, or they had some type of financial education, they understand. One of our models is if you're not willing to listen, because you have to pay us for our services, but if you're not willing to listen, you will fail. Simple as that. You have to learn to listen. You don't know it all. We don't know it all, but we make sure we find the people to help us know it all. Okay? Right. So there's a big difference. Okay? None of us here knows everything, but all of us here knows everything. You see the difference?
Right.
So when you put together TMI and partners, what you see here is that we know it, but I don't know what Lacey knows in real estate. I don't, but I know what I got to get together to move it over to Lacey's department. Mm-hmm. Dr. Perry works very heavy in a nonprofit, and they'll all tell you their area, but I know what to bring in to move it to him. Same thing with you, teaming up with you. Sure, I know public relation, but you're the man. You said, hey, Alvin, we need to take this to the next level. Mm-hmm. So now I went around the room and look where we are. Yeah. Full blown. So anybody really watching this, you're watching brothers and their sisters, and we're completely diverse. I love diversity. Okay, then. But you're listening to people that know us. So when you come to TMI and Partners, we're like the Verizon guy. You remember the Verizon guy? He had about 1,000 people behind him.
Right.
That's who we are. When you come through the door, there's about 1,000 of us behind me, our company, to provide the service to you. All of that's important. And as you go around the table, you'll see this family and you'll hear the stories and you'll see. And we're not only going to just talk about our stories, we're going to really talk about how your viewers can get to where they need to get to. Just listen and we'll share it. We ain't going to share it so much because you got to pay for the services. Don't get me wrong. Come on, I'm not that crazy. But it's enough for folks to understand, yeah, these people know what they're talking about. And I'm going to hit it here. You and I talked about it. I don't like talking about race, but I'm going to say what it is. It's amazing how hard we work. And when we get African-American and Hispanics on the phone, sometimes it just seems like they don't think we can do the work. I don't get it. I don't get it. But I understand. Like I've always said, Black people, they're my family. And sometimes me and my sister do not get along. My wife and I don't get along. Okay, good. The grandkids are eating up all my snack. But that's my family. Y'all see where I'm coming from?
Come on.
Black folks, Latinos, people of color, we can't get along, but they are family, and we will be there when it's time. But we're also family. Don't call me again, because I ain't giving you no money. Because in family, I ain't got no money. Don't call me. Come on, Uncle. Yeah, come on. So that's what we are, TMI and Partners.
Well, I wanted to talk to a couple of the other partners. Lacey, will you share with us, how did you become a part of TMI and Partners, and what services do you provide in business?
Wow. Well, thank you for that. How I became involved with TMI. Actually, I heard about them from an associate that I had been working with, and he was saying, you got to come and check these guys out. They have funding for all different kinds of business sources. And I was in the middle of a big deal, and I had was shopping the deal around, and I said, oh, I remember I was told about the TMI and Partners. So I gave him a call, and I said, hey, I have got this deal. I was working with someone who was trying to buy a yacht, actually a big yacht. I think it was $3 million, working with them, trying to build a yacht. And then I brought the deal to TMI. And the TMI partners welcomed me with open arms. We onboarded the client. We started going through all the process. And just as Alvin talked about, this is a person who's making a lot of money. A couple $1 million a year right now. Actually, he's making a couple $1 million a month because he's in crypto, and crypto just exploded for him. But he didn't have all of his business paperwork together. And one of the things that we learned was it doesn't make a difference how much money you're making. If you don't have your business paperwork together, you're going to have issues getting funded. So in this particular case, we began working and finding him suitable financing. And while we were doing that, though, and I'll share this particular story, crypto, Bitcoin exploded while I was doing that. So he came back and said, hey, guess what? I don't need to finance this thing anymore, guys. I'm going to pay for it myself out of my Bitcoin. But that's what introduced me to TMI and Partners. Bringing this client to the table. He was looking around for funding, couldn't find anybody to fund him. They were all telling him to kick rocks. But at TMI, they opened their arms to him and at least took him in and started looking for funding for him. Everyone else was just rejecting him straight out of the door. So we took the time to go through his paperwork, telling him the changes he needed to make in order to be able to get funded. And right while we're going through that process, Bitcoin, I think, jumped like $20, $25. And so he's like, never mind, guys. I got it.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's currently, his yacht's still being built, and he's paying for it through his Bitcoin, or actually crypto. Let me rephrase that. He's paying through it through the explosion in crypto right now. Myself, I'm actually a real estate investor. But before I became in the real estate investing, I've been a mortgage lender, mortgage originator. I work with several different mortgage lenders on the residential side. And then I started getting clients that were on the investing side, and I started working with them. Now, if you know anything about residential mortgages, they really don't like sophisticated investors, because what it means is that everybody comes in and wants to have no points and the lowest interest rate you can possibly get. And so when you bring in the sophisticated investors, they look the residential mortgage guys up and down. So I started working with commercial lenders, and I started bringing my investors into the commercial lending space. Started working with hard money lenders, private investors, private money. So there's a couple of different kinds of money. There's institutional money that's going to the bank, right? Then you have mortgage lenders who are right outside of the banks, and they help, and they'll sometimes be brokers. And then you have hard money and private money investors, and those people are using sometimes institutional money like hedge funds. Sometimes they're using their own cash, and sometimes they bring cash together in groups with accredited investors, and they fund deals. So I work across the entire spectrum from residential lending all the way to private investors. So anyone that comes to me with a real estate idea, I bounce it through my network, and we see if we can find funding. Sometimes I get deals that come to me that are outside of real estate, and that's when I come to TMI Partners to bring those deals.
Wow, so quite a heavy background in finance.
30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's actually what gave me all this gray hair.
how about you, Dr. Perry L. Austin? Will you share your background in business?
Oh, wow. I've been a lot of things to a lot of people over the last 25 years, specifically in business and leadership. I actually have a center, as Alvin was alluding to when he called Lacey, but he meant me with my logo. But I have a center that I actually, I'm a bishop in the Lord's Church, but I also have a business that allows people through education through my school. I actually have a business and leadership school on the center, and we teach business, leadership, and financial literacy. I had one particular program working with the FDIC as well as with the SBA's software to be able to help people put business plans together, as well as being qualified for loans and investors, where we actually take the teaching from the FDIC and then being able to be able to put that in a plan that's going to be able to go and take it to market and have somewhat of a foundation of what business is. On the back end, I was working with another company before TMI that was giving funding, but they were only up to 2 million. And Alvin and I have had a friendship for about 15 years, and I was looking for more and doing more in certain projects. And then we got together, and I saw the smorgasbord, literally, of what TMI offered, and I said, "Well, man, this is really great." And we began to talk and added that service on the back end. So, can you imagine a startup business really wanting to be able to get established, then being able to get to a place of somewhat stability and trying to mature them to the further part of getting them funded of some sort. And of course, nationally, we work with people and being able to bring it to market. So we wanted to be able to give that back to the community and offering some coursework and things of that nature. And it just was a perfect fit for what we were trying to do. And I came on board with TMI. I believe that was officially January 1st. So it's been about 6 months as well.
Yeah, and Dr. Austin, you really are part of the diversity of TMI and partners. I know Alvin had mentioned we come from a lot of different industries. You more on the leadership side, Lacey with a big background, me public relations, marketing, and broadcast. Yet the partners, and I think for me, I want you to touch on this, Alvin. For me, we all bring audiences.
Yeah.
Or connections, all the people that we've known throughout our lives that we know, we've partnered with. I see that as one of the strengths of creating this kind of organization. He's talking about 30 years doing what he's doing. Dr. Austin, many, many years of doing what he's doing. It's our audiences that we bring, and along with knowledge, as you had mentioned earlier, that I think really makes this group unique. Would you speak on that?
Yep. Thank you very much. Here's what hopefully your listening audience will realize. Okay, all of us are in the business of making money. We run business. Mm-hmm. So I don't want your audience to get the impression these are just a bunch of brothers, bunch of black folks getting together to kumbaya. No, that's not what we're about. We're about business. We have access. We're about business. We're not about trying to get folks to shop around our service, tire kickers, sorry, where, they want to ask us 150 questions and not pay us. So y'all don't come this way. I'll tell anyone, don't come this way, because you can't go to any other business. Go to the grocery store and touch the bread and say, I don't have any money. See how far that goes. Go to church and tell the pastor money's evil. Pastor will say, okay, well, what you gonna do? You have to pay, because if you pay, we hire people, we contract people. So that's very important. So everybody at TMI and partners, we all make a living doing this. And I stress that is because too often people don't talk about the reality. This is about making money, and people want to be in the space where people are making money. There's nothing wrong with that. So what do I do with the rest of my partners? What we do is we go out and we look for companies that can provide the services to our clients. We vet those companies, and then we'll put them in the suite of services that we have. One-stop shop. Call us Costco. I like to describe us as the hospital where you come in and you have a primary care doctor, which is your business advisor, and we got x-ray on the 3rd floor. We got pulmonology on the 6th floor. We have cardiology on the 9th floor. So, our job is to put you in good health. But you have to pay. And that's what we want people to understand. You can't go into business. Listen, here we go. Watch me, guys. How can you go and ask for $50,000 in a loan and you only bring in $500 a month? Well, if they give me the money, I'm able to bring in the business so I can pay. It doesn't work that way.
It don't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. Stop looking for, and please, all you profit-making organizations, quit running around talking about, I want a grant. I want a grant. No, you can stop that. You're in business to make money. You ain't in the business of, well, someone will give me some money. No. If you got a problem with your receivables, then let's figure it out how to increase your receivables, how to increase sales. That's where people start giving you money. They look at your sales. Well, I don't have no money. And if I had the money, I could make. You need to stop. You need to stop. And folks may get upset at me saying this, but guess what? If you are in a room with millionaires, everyone's going around the table and they're saying what they do, and everyone else said, listen, matter of fact, I got someone, let me make a call real quick so I can connect you. Everyone's going around the room. Now, you're in the room with millionaires. This is, okay, Alvin, what do you do? Well, I'm thinking about being a millionaire. Man, why are you here?
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to learn, but no, this is not a learning session. This is a session to move money around. Well, if I'm here long, Mr. Hartley, please go. Please go. And what I don't want blacks and African Americans and Hispanics to run into is the general market. They'll be nice and they smile in your face. They're going to smile in your face, bro. And this is what they do. They open the door. They bring you in. You thought you arrived. They show you around and they listen to you. And you walk them all throughout everything. Then they open up the back door and they say, thank you very much. And you wonder what the heck happened. TMI, we're like, yo, we bring you, sit yourself down. Now let me see your paperwork. I don't want to hear that nonsense. Okay, now we got to get this together. We got to get that together. Y'all trying to rip up? No, we're not. This is war. And if you're about to go to war, we got to make sure you're trained right. You have the right tools. You know what to do, how to do it. Read the playbook, because we're going to take you to get millions. But you ain't getting a dime unless you're prepped. And then we have, right, Dr. Perry Lacey, we have those people that are well educated. And they've been in banking for 30 years. And I'm building a project and I need $14 million. Okay, let me see the bank statement. Well, right now I only have about $5,000 in the bank. Okay, bro, explain to me. Someone has been in banking for 30 years? Where you going with that? Well, I'm looking for equity and partners. What? No, he said, I'm looking for investors, but I don't want to give up any equity. Oh, Lord have mercy. Dude, what are you doing? So then we say, okay, we need to figure this out. It's going to cost you a couple of $100 so we can get your paperwork. I don't pay for that. Why are you here? Why are you here? This is the nonsense that we're faced with, but we stay with it because they don't know. We love our family. Right? But their family that will work with you, then you always got that uncle that's always coming, talking about, y'all got any money? Coming to the bar, Oh Lord, man, here come pay. Oh God, here he comes again. Here. But that's family, right?
Yeah.
There's always someone coming to the barbecue. Like, and you got Estelle that got drama. Am I right? You got that client. When you lift up the phone, they got drama. Am I right, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
That's family. But now we're going to make sure our family understand how this works. Stop blaming white people where all they ask you to fill out the paperwork.
Right. Right.
That's all I'm saying. Stop blaming white folks. And they say, well, did you incorporate? No, but I'm looking for 20 million. Stop it. It doesn't work. And if I'm moving too fast out in that area, you guys got to let me know. I don't want to offend your viewers, but at the end of the day, it is the truth. They laugh at us, y'all. They laugh at us. It's because we go in thinking we know it all.
No.
They would tell you the cases.
Mm-hmm.
We get some good clients, right, fellas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some good clients. When we see some of the good clients, Dr. Perry prays for us first, and Lord, please let us keep the clients.
Help them. Help them.
Okay. But we go out of our way to make sure that that client is going to be successful over the next 12 to 18 months. We will work our butts off. Mm-hmm. That's what that's about. And you hear it when we have our Wednesday call, Guy. All of the players. And do I not bring money to the table, Guy, when they come on? You hear the people. You see what they're like, man, these people are real. And we're not afraid to share. You know where I'm going with this, right, Guy? Mm-hmm. Too often, we don't want to share because we're worrying about the contact. You know, I don't know, you can't call my contact. I'm like, you can call them. I don't care. I already got a relationship. You follow me? Yep. Lacey brings his top-of-the-line contacts. We know how to respect his contact. Dr. Perry, we respect everybody's contact. The beautiful thing, that the ethics that we have among ourselves is to take care of ourselves, if that makes sense. And you'll hear what Lacey is dynamic in real estate.
Yes, sir.
He is very, very dynamic. Matter of fact, Lacey's the calm guy. Perry and I be running around, fire, fire. Lacey, calm down.
It's all right.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm running around. Lord, what's going to happen? Dr. Perry praying in the corner. Lacey said, it's fine. It's fine. But that's what family does. And Guy, you know, I'm going to get on you too, Guy. When you come on the Wednesday calls, you're like, all right, guys, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this, guys. So what y'all want me to do? Because I got this. And everyone loves you, Guy. On the Wednesday call, they're like, yo, man, Guy is tight. Guy don't say much, but when he does, he turns on his camera. I'm here. I'm just listening. Am I right, Lacey?
Yeah.
So that's the family, Guy. So I want your listening audience to understand where we're going with this. And also, as we get deep into it, you're the captain. I want to show folks some opportunity through Lacey got ways on how to deal with real estate. Dr. Perry got ways on his school. So I want to make sure we can share that with your audience instead of them listening to this good-looking brother like me talk so much.
So how about on the real estate side, Lacey, because that is your specialty. What is a typical scenario that comes up that TMI and partners can help a person with in that lane?
So real estate is one of the most diverse things in the country or in the economy. So it goes all the way from somebody getting their first home all the way for somebody buying, a 200-unit apartment building, or maybe buying a shopping center or a mall or something. So when you talk about real estate, I use a phrase, get in where you fit in. So real estate is very diverse, and it depends on where you're starting. Most of the people that I deal with, I go all the way from helping first-time home buyers purchase their first home or get prepared to purchase their first home, all the way from dealing with someone right now, like I have a $3 million proper project that I'm working on where people are actually going to create a campus. I'm working on that project right now. So the width of what you can be dealing with someone in real estate is very, very varied. Again, somebody making their first home purchase, all the way from working on somebody doing a multi-million-dollar deal. But typically, for most people, it's buying their first home or buying their first investment property. And in buying your first investment property, there's a lot that you have to do with that. You have to get the person prepared. Have you started a business? Do you have something to protect? Because oftentimes people go and buy an investment property and they haven't set up a business structure. Then they got the property under contract, and they go out looking for funding. And then the funders all tell them, hey, guess what? We can't fund you unless you have a business structure. All right. So even if you have all the money in the bank and everything else, they can't fund you without a business structure, because a commercial loan, they need to make that loan to a business. They can't make the loan to an individual person. Right. So we show people how they have to structure themselves to be able to get into investing. Now that's on the investment side. And we might have someone trying to buy their first house, and we talk to them and we'll ask them, well, what's your credit score? And they'll go, I don't know. But you've been looking for houses, but you don't even know what your credit score is. So guess what happens? You're going to go, and this is from the business side, and so I'm not trying to offend anyone, but you'll go and start talking to a real estate agent, and they'll look at you and say, you're wasting my time.
Yep.
They'll literally tell you, you're wasting my time, because you don't even know what your credit score is. So how can I assist you if you don't even know if you qualify for a loan? So if you're out looking for a house, you'll hear people say, we want pre-qualified buyers to come and show up at our open house. Pre-qualified buyers. And again, it's no offense to you, but if you don't know what you can qualify for, they don't know how much of a house to show you. Right? You can think you have good credit, but until you get your credit score pulled, you don't know. And as a matter of fact, most people think it's just a credit score. It's actually your credit profile, which includes your credit score, how long you've been on your job, how much money you make, how much money you have in the bank. So it's not just your score, it's other things. And you have to be trained or taught what those things are in order to be prepared to buy a house. So those same things that I'm talking about, buying your own first home, it kind of also happens on the commercial space when you talk about buying a building or buying your first investment property. You have to get you prepared to be able to purchase. So we have to prepare you to purchase, and that's basically my job. I consult with people to get them ready so that they can buy.
I want to add to that. Another reason why I brought Lacey into our fold is because I had money for flipping homes and no docs. And I'm getting some more money because Lacey educated us when he came to the company. He said, Alvin, we have too many people out here trying to flip homes, but don't know how to do it or don't have the money or the system. So we brought several companies in that do this all day long with the general market.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But Lacey also brought something very unique to the table. He has a system that he's actually putting in place where now he has people with money, okay, and somewhat with good credit score, and you put those two together, they're able to get the necessary support to purchase these 2-unit, 4-unit homes, fix them up, flip them, and make a profit. So he was able to bring those items together. Very important. All right, people are out here. We have a client that we brought on. Brother went down south, bought a property, turned the property around, did very good by himself. When we onboard him, the first thing he says, man, I am so happy that you guys are around because I had no idea what I was doing. But he did it so well. Great credit score, money in the bank. He did everything so great. We're like, oh, this is going to be easy for us. Okay? So now we're working on getting him to the next level within a year to 18 months. He's done. Stick a fork in him. He's going. And he's a perfect client.
Yeah.
Well-educated brother. Well-educated, got a good career, but humble.
Yep.
And we work hard for people like that. because there's nothing greater than having the opportunity to bless someone through services that we offer to take them to the next level. It's like building that building. Once it's built, every day you go by and say, yeah, man, don't forget, I helped build that building.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
So as those businesses are growing, I helped grow that business. What? Oh, I knew the owner when he had nothing. Now the owner's worth $50 million. Word? Yeah, man, please. Hey, Bob, how's it going? Hey, Al, great. There you go. Oh, yeah, I knew the owner. Good.
There's a delayed gratification. You hear about that phrase, delaying your gratification, and you were just describing a scenario with the brother that you were working with, and I think that maybe that could be some of the challenges. Maybe you could speak to this, Dr. Perry, is people's ability to sustain delayed gratification as you're working towards something. This isn't the same as going down to a car lot and buying a car, where paper moves very fast, right? And I see this a lot with, especially people who are new in business. There's a mentality of not having delayed gratification. Things happen very quickly, and that just isn't necessarily a realistic thing. Can you speak to that in this type of funding?
Yeah, well, let me kind of give a great analogy here. It's about, grandma's cake. We are old school here, and grandma would make that cake, and we would love her even when when she was starting, watch this, when she started to mix everything together. We wouldn't eat butter by itself, we wouldn't eat eggs by itself, we wouldn't eat all the other ingredients by itself, but together, when grandma put her love together with it and put it together and did what she had to do, pounding the cake out, doing all that, to the end result was, man, it was even down to cooling the cake to put the icing on the cake. We knew that piece of cake was going to be amazing when she did it. We live in a society now that's been microwaved. We want it in 2 minutes or less. It's not all our fault, but we haven't spoke against it in some areas that we need to. We have to unlearn to learn, and saying that, guess what, finances is that way. There are a lot of people, being one of the senior business advisors, there are a lot of people that want it right now. And it's a process. That's why Alvin was always talking about, the paperwork, any good foundation. And Lacey is a guy that I can talk to about this from a building standpoint. But any house with a good foundation, a strong foundation, can burn to the ground, and you can build back on that thing. The problem is that we don't have the foundation. We're building our houses on straw. We're building our houses on sand, or businesses. Let's use that. I mean, to say businesses on these foundations, and they're going to fall apart. TMI's vision and concept is, let's build it right. Let's get the foundation. Let's put your paperwork in order. And that's a language that's not heard of, but yet we'll hear it from the lawyer when you got to get your case together. And we'll hear it from the accountant when they're trying to get some of your bookkeeping together. We'll even hear it when we got a hint of understanding when we buy a home, and then we think we know it all. No, that has nothing to do on the business side or the commercial side of doing anything. And we have to train ourselves to do it. Another thing, and I want to say this as well, I want to go back to when everybody thinks that when you see Alvin, you're seeing this. Yes, he has a whole bunch of people, kind of like Henry Ford did. Henry Ford, they said, well, wait a minute, how can you by yourself, don't seem that you're that intelligent to do all this. And they took him to court and everything. The reality of it was, he says, I don't have to. I hired all the right people to get the job done. And that's why I'm able to do what I do. I look at TMI in that aspect. We have a plethora of people and resources that, if our folks can be able to open up their minds and understand that they have a team of people that's going to make sure that they're successful, not just starting out, but finishing to the end, so that they can sit up here and say they're worth $5 million, $10 million, $20 million. Oh yeah, we can do that here if they're willing to not do the microwave thing, but do the grandma thing and wait for the cake on the end, so you can have that gratification when it's all done.
What I may I?
And
Oh,
I'm not
please.
trying to preach, guys. I'm just,
No. Of course. Come on. Well, you are a bishop, so you know. Lord have mercy. Yeah.
Ah.
Here's the cup.
Okay.
I'm hoping that your listening audience would understand, or excuse me, a viewing audience as well as listening. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Understand. We're not preaching. We're advising. So we're passionate about what we talk about. Stop getting all hyped where you hear the government is about to give out all this money, and then you go, you don't even incorporate. You do a sole proprietorship, okay? And then you run over and you get into the government SAM program, and then you think because you registered, you're in the SAM government program, and all of a sudden you're going to get all this work. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Or you'll hear, like here in New York City, there are billions and billions of dollars of construction work going on between the two airports, Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is so hard to find, and when I mean find, I'm going to define it now. It's hard for the general contractors to work with minority contractors, but there are a lot of minority contractors that has it together, but there are also obstacles why they don't get the contract. You with me? So what did we do? Every obstacle that's there, we went out and got companies that is able to help the minority make it through those obstacles. You see? Because there are tons of white companies out there that are saying this is wrong. This is wrong. Minorities should not have to be jumping through all these hoops. But since you'll put those hoops up, we're big enough. We'll help them get through the hoop because we want to do business with them. That's billions of dollars we could be making with them, but you won't even let them get access to that. Don't worry about it. We're going to back you up. So think about it. If you got all these huge companies that we have on board, all they say to TMI, fix them up, man. Fix them up. Make sure they're right. Yes, sir. Make sure they're ready to go in battle. Yes, sir. They have the right equipment. Yes, they do, sir. Do they know the playbook? Yes, they do, sir. All right, let's go. And those white companies to be right there because they're used to war. They're used to it. They fight all day long. 30 million, 20 million, 50 million. Fighting is what they do all day. To get that contract, to close that deal, they do it all day. But they can't stop. Now you know where I'm going. To take the time to show a minority, how to do this, how to do that. They don't have time for that. But they have time to say, are you ready? Yes, sir. Can you do the job? Yes, I can, sir. Do you have the infrastructure? Yes, I do, sir. Then let's go to war. Good business.
Good business. You're talking about getting yourself prepared. As the phrase I used earlier was prepare to purchase. So in business, you're going to prepare yourself to be fundable. Prepare yourself to be fundable. Having a great business idea is only the beginning. You then have to take the steps to make it so that you can compete in the marketplace. But in order to be able to compete in the marketplace, you have to have cash flow. Sometimes you can have a great idea and be ready to compete, but then not have the cash flow. One of the things that I've learned since I've been at TMI is that. So you'll have a person with a great business idea, has all the expertise. They've been doing it for 20 years, and now they open up their own business. They get that first contract, and the first contract says, you're going to need to go $20,000, $30,000 in the hole before you get your first paycheck from us. That business just got a contract. Now he can't fulfill the contract because he doesn't have $30,000 to to be able to hold himself over until he can get to the point where he gets that first paycheck. And that's where companies like TMI come into play. We help find the funding for the organizations that are ready, but we also help get organizations ready so they can get funded. So some people come to us fundable, ready to be funded. Other companies, we have to help get them ready so that they can be funded. But in order to do that, as Alvin has been alluding to the whole time, they have to be willing to listen. We're going to help teach you. We're going to help structure you, but you have to be open to listening. And if you are, then we can put you in place so that one of our partners, you'll be able to get funded by them.
And you're going to pay. I'm going to keep saying that.
Well, of course.
I'm going to keep saying that. Because I know some people, man, these brothers sound hot. I'm going to call them up. Well, I'm saying, well, do you have the money to on? But I ain't got no money. Why are you calling us? There are tons of other nonprofit organizations out there. Okay? But you got to pay to play. But if you're willing to pay to play, you're going to win. That's the bottom line. No, go ahead, Dr. Perry.
I just wanted to say, and let's just be realistic here. There may be not being a nonprofit doesn't mean you can't make or earn.
Watch yourself now. Watch yourself.
Okay, so there's monies that may have been granted into them to cover those services. So money still is needed to do so. Now, what are you going to do when they don't have any more money? They can't take anybody else, so forth and so on. Now your business and your goal or your dream is stuck. And yet, if you still took this opportunity to say, well, hey, let me go to somebody that's going to be able to help. There's nothing wrong with being a nonprofit. I'm a nonprofit. But at the end of the day, it still takes money to run, to keep the lights on, to be able to make sure you're paying your employees, to make sure that you're being able to have the software, the websites, or even the something of this platform like this. It takes money. It takes money to do so. So we have to understand that there is a cost to something of doing business, right, whether you come out of pocket yourself or not. See, half the time people want a grant because they want to have that money in their hand and then say, oh, I'm not gonna go there. Okay, I'll be good. So that's y'all gonna, but because we've met too many people with their hand out when we really want to give them a hand up.
There you go. Say it again, Dr. Perry.
We want to give them a hand up and show them
yes, Lord,
the long-term goal. You know, that seems to be the main issue in our community, because we've been taught we've been taught because of the struggle, oh, well, let's go get this. But eventually, watch this. Y'all ain't going to like me for this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Eventually, watch this. You got to get off the government cheese and go buy your own.
Come on now.
Eventually, you're going to have to be able to get out of some type of public assistance and learn how to have your own. You can't continue to make a career out of that. You really can't. And somebody needs to have their big boy or big girl pants on to be able to tell you and look you square in the eye and say, let's move forward. You're bigger than that. You're better than that. If you want to get spiritual, God has more for you than that, than you sitting up here just trying to stay in that one little space. It's so important to do that. Again, we have to unlearn to learn. And that's what I want to say.
We have the resources. Okay. But and the reason why I keep on emphasize pay is because the clients that we have coming on, they're coming on a little bit faster now because they understand who we are. They all come to us for the money, but they're not ready. Here, let me close with this. You're going to like this. I'm definitely going to talk to your listeners and your viewers. How many people got that letter and it starts out like this? I regret to inform you at this present time, we cannot provide the service or you don't qualify. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Mm-hmm. And you ever notice those are very, very small paragraph. The rest of the paper is blank like heck, right? Right?
Yes, right. They don't waste the space.
They don't waste the space. But guess what? They never come back and tell you why you didn't qualify. Who's going to come back and say, well, we looked through your paperwork. Can we spend about an hour on the phone going through your paperwork to tell you why you didn't qualify. And by the way, we're going to show you how you can get qualified to resubmit your paperwork. Who's really going to take that time out? We're the opposite. Before you go in there, you are going to be right and tight. Right and tight. Because here's the trick. We know what the underwriters are looking for. See? We know what the underwriters looking for. Underwriters are trolls, right? Like I call them trolls. You will never get.
You're not getting me on that.
I call them trolls. They're the people that are in the basement. They don't talk to the client at all.
Right.
You just take the paperwork and put it in a chute. That's your underwriter. And the underwriter open it and they're like, if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't smell right, if it doesn't taste right, they're going to reject it.
Right.
But if we know what the underwriters like and what they need, then we make sure the paperwork is looking right.
That's right.
So they're just trolls. They're people that the public never sees. But they're the people that make the decision on your application.
They are indeed.
The underwriter.
Right.
Not the rep.
Nope.
Not the president of the bank.
Nope.
Not even the investor. Because the investor has underwriters that monitors their money. That's like, you really want to put money in this? Because this paperwork sure ain't looking right.
That's right.
They'll say the underwriter says no. So what you gonna say, yo, man? Yo, introduce me to the underwriter. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, that part.
The underwriter doesn't want to talk to you. The
underwriter
underwriter
by no means
does not want to talk to you, right?
Whoa. What you gonna tell me? So if you start to think that way, you're able to get money. One more thing, too. Listen, everybody. Okay, let me go slow, Dr. Perry. I'm about to take some more pills. Stop going out there and telling folks, yo, I'm looking for an investor. Okay?
Oh, my.
Now, here's what they do. I'm looking for an investor. All right? I got this 400-page proposal. First of all, they ain't reading 400 pages.
They ain't reading 400 pages.
All right? Y'all need to forget that. Second of all, in all the proposal, you don't even have an exit strategy. Well, what's that? Oh, Lord. Why are you going to an investor and you don't know what type of deal you want to offer them to start the negotiation? Well, I want to listen to what they got to say. No! You go in with the plan.
Right.
That's Shark Tank.
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
Okay? If you can't go in and stop going to investors asking for a lot of money. And they said, well, do you have any contract? Well, you give me the money, I can build it, then I'll get the contract. No, you got to have all that laid out. This is what folks don't understand. So there you go.
So let me give you a scenario. Person comes to you, they're willing to pay, they got their paperwork right, and they are teachable. What types of solutions do you have for that type of a person? Now, how can you help them? If they've met all the criteria that you talked about today, what are some of the products that they can utilize through TMI to make their dream come true?
Absolutely. Why don't we do it this way? Instead of you asking the question, why don't you be the customer? How you like that?
Okay, I'm the customer.
Okay, and you come hard as you want. Watch it, because watch how the team works. Come on now. You got a few minutes, so let's do this. Let's have fun.
Hey,
I'm willing to answer the phone. You want to start with the ring, ring, ring?
I think your fees are fair for what it is that you're going to do for my business. I got a huge project. I want to finance a studio to produce a big media project. Here is my paperwork. I've been profiting for the last 5 years in my business. Your fees are acceptable, and I want to learn step by step how to make this happen. How can we work together?
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Dawson. I'm glad you're on board. You're building out a studio. Did I say that right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to bring Lacey McCullen on. Lacey works in the real estate space. Lacey is going to work with you to look at all what you're doing in that space, who you're contracting, because Lacey works with contractors. He's going to look at your budget. He's going to look at all the necessary tools that you have in place. All right, then, because you're going to have that construction budget in place that's going to be part of that, the loan that you're going after, sir. Are you with me? All right, then you're also going to be introduced to Dr. Perry, who's one of our business advisors. Dr. Perry is going to be like the overseer of the entire project. Now, his goal is to not only go through all of your paperwork, but then work with the CPA firm. Just to let you know, Mr. Dawson, when you come on board, your paperwork, once we get it, automatically go to a CPA firm. They look at all of your numbers so they can certify those numbers are right. Now, once they certify to make sure those numbers are right, Dr. Perry is going to say, listen, the CPA firm already said, listen, he's good to go. He's looking for what? He's looking for 500,000 or $1 million. His paperwork shows that he's able to pay that back. He got his taxes. He has everything in order. Now, Dr. Perry now reach out to our various lenders and our partners, depending what category he wants to go to, and he works with them to get all that paperwork together. So meanwhile, as we're doing all this, Lacey's working with you on getting that construction information together. Dr. Perry's working with you to make sure that you have all the information for the funding. All right, then? And then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. That's how we work with you, sir.
Wow, that sounds great. Yeah, how do we get started?
I'm going to send you a link to onboard. I thought you said you already paid, brother.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
the fees were fair. I didn't say I already Language always matters, doesn't it, brother?
Yes, it does. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got so excited, I didn't know what to do. Okay. No problem, sir. What we'll do is we'll send you the link, and we'll send some other email giving you an outline of all the different departments and the service that we offer from the company. Please read through everything. Once you click the link and on board, the fees and everything is there, sir. Very inexpensive. There's a one-time setup fee, very affordable, so we can get all that paperwork together so we can go to work. And our whole business is designed pay as you go. If you have a service and you don't need us to provide that service, fine. But if you do need a service and you're asking us to provide for it, we have those services, and then you'll pay for that service to be rendered. But everything is pay as you go.
Pay as you go.
Yeah, I mean, I really, I'm getting a greater understanding of your business model, TMI Partners, and I know where you're coming from internally. You know what I mean? And that makes a big difference because, like you said, the business world is it's a kind of a really cold place.
Yes, it is.
And you don't necessarily come across, especially finance guys like, say, a Lacey or you, Alvin, or anyone that are always going to, they really don't have a lot of time. I know that it's been talked about to get you together. But when people actually take the time in this cold business world that we are in, I think that's something that that's a unique situation. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring all of you on the air to talk about what TMI and Partners does. I would like for you each to tell us how we can get in contact with you about your specific business. And then I've got one other question after you've done giving yourself a short commercial. Let the listeners and the people who view this know how they can get in contact with you. Let's start with you, Dr. Perry.
Well, real easy. If you want to go to the WGMIcenter.org, you can go there and kind of peruse our website and see what we do, or you can email me at Dr. Perry L. Austin, all lowercase, at WGMIcenter.org, and get to know what we need to do, answer any questions. But most of all, because I'm a friend and also work with Alvin, you can also reach me through TMI.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Perry. How about you, Lacey?
Well, okay. Well, that's interesting. So I'm working through TMI, and we're going to have you go through the website of tmium.com, and I'm going to have all my services come through TMI and Partner. But if you did reach out to me, basically you can reach out to me through LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, been there forever. You can reach me through LinkedIn. But for the services I'm providing for the community, it's through TMI and Partners.
And Alvin, you are the captain of the ship. How do people get in contact with the captain?
Hey, mate. You can go to tmium.com. The site is just all there. Information is there, or you can email info@tmium.com. All right. And all the partners here, because we call all of our our partners. That's what that's about. You'll be able to get access to everything. The site itself explains everything. Which again, working with you, also folks are now able to work with us to get a great PR services, because we're directing our customers to you.
That's right.
I mean, you did a great press release. You got a great show here, and our job is to help grow your business as well. That's what this is about. And I hope that your listening and viewers audience understand they should really take us serious, because we love what we do. But don't be upset if we're coming to you direct, because we fam. So fam's going to talk to you direct. But we will not lie. God knows we don't have the time to steal from you.
That's right.
Okay, but we do want to bill you. We do want to bill your company so we can keep billing you.
Yeah.
So we need to grow your company so we can keep billing you, so we can keep making money. But we can't
Alvin,
bill you
the
if you
website again.
That's the website again.
Yes.
I'll do my professional voice. That's
Yes.
that's tmium.com. That's tmium.com.
Really quickly, Alvin, one last question. You mentioned that we are all partners in this. What are you looking for in potential partners, people who might be able to come on board and be a part of our family?
Absolutely. We're looking for companies that's been around for quite a few years. They have a track record in what they're doing, and the service can be offered on a domestic level. Very, very important. And they don't mind being with family, because when you come on board, everyone gets to meet each other and everyone does business with each other. That's the beautiful thing. Everybody does business. So this is not, I just want to make sure it's not a networking thing where you come in, so then you run around, give me your number. Because we'll show you out the door in a second. That's not what this is about. This is about all of us bringing business to TMI, which brings business to everybody, which brings business to you. Okay? All of you guys and all the ladies. And I guess the next show, I'm working on the next show to let you know for the women to come on. Okay? We have dynamic women working with us. Well, I'm well disciplined when I'm around them. Mr. Hartley, okay, I won't say nothing. These women know their business. Boy, you do not want to. So I thank you for blessing us so much for this show. We've been talking about it. We've been blessed. We finally got it off the ground. We got many more to do with you. And I'm just proud to be among these brothers, because we work hard, but we love what we do.
Definitely a hard working group of people. And again, thank you so much, brothers, for stopping by and sharing your expertise with our audience. And as Alvin had mentioned, we've got an ongoing series of podcasts that we're going to be doing here at prconnectionsradio.com in partnership with TMI and partners. We're going to be exposing the world to these principles and concepts that we talked about today. A lot of the things that were discussed in this podcast today are things that you don't hear out there in the world of funding and business solutions. And that's what we want to give, right? We want to get paid for it. Obviously, you're in business to get paid. But just because you are expecting to get paid, that's the reason why you're in business. You're in business to make a profit. Doesn't mean that everybody can't make a profit. And when you look at the great business dynasties that have been built through other cultures, it's all been done by that collective culture coming together Not that they don't have disagreements, like Alvin was
Right.
talking about your family, you don't always get along, but that doesn't mean that you don't go out there and complete the mission.
Yes.
Right.
And that's what I like about TMI and Partners, and why I've been so attracted to this organization, is that this is how you build dynasties.
Yes.
Mm.
These principles, helping one another, profitably helping one another. So again, brothers, thank you so much for stopping by, and thank all of you audience for tuning in to
Thank you.
prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media. We've got a lot of exciting shows that we are releasing on this network. Stay tuned for more updates.
All right.